Good, good. I'm so glad you're here. Those who are in, hello everybody who's coming in.
Yes.
Welcome to
Hey.
episode 5 of Kicking It with Karina, featuring the Lay Wheels. Like, I'm so excited. You don't even understand. Like, I'm geeked for
Yes.
real.
Yes. I'm
But
equally as excited, girl.
how have you been, like, through just everything that's been going on with the world? It's been
Woo.
hard out here.
Yes, it has. Now, I said all night long, I'm going to be as transparent as possible. You know what I'm saying? This is the beginning
Mm-hmm.
of my career, so I don't got no NDAs, and I ain't signed yet, so I can say what I want to say. You
Okay.
know.
Speak your stuff. Talk your shit.
Exactly.
Okay.
And I'm gonna be transparent with you guys. When COVID first hit, it was terrible.
Yes.
Yeah, it was a rough time. You know what I'm saying, for creatives especially, and then I know for
Yeah.
anybody working a 9 to 5, because even they were shut down, and you really just had to find a way to stay grounded but still occupy your time. So
Right.
for me,
Right.
it was just trying to figure out, I have all this time, all this energy, how do I express myself,
Right.
you know, when I can't go anywhere, I can't do anything. So the first like 2 months, it was difficult. And
Yeah.
then, finally that third month, I was like, because I was still in LA for most of COVID. And then I
Yeah.
just got back to South Carolina. I was like, I'm not doing nothing. I'm going to my family.
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
I'd rather not do nothing with them.
Right.
So,
Exactly.
yeah. And ever since
Well,
I've been home, it was great.
yeah, we have a lot to cover. And
Yes.
Instagram like to cut us off in an hour. So
Okay.
we're
I'm
going to
ready.
get started. So, with
Oh,
you just being like an artist or an actor, you're the
mhm.
music industry as a rapper, like, I want to talk about them both separately, but I want to
Okay.
start with acting first, right? And
Yes.
so, for those who don't know who are in here, me and Lay went to university together, and just being there and seeing you, we were in Skin Deep together. I remember you being in Swagger Jack as Aaliyah. So, like,
Oh.
how would you say, like, being in those spaces and having those experiences early in college kind of like prepped you for where you are now in your career?
I would say, it gave me like the support system. Like I got to
Mm.
see, how my friends reacted when they know how I am in private, but then they could
Yeah,
see that switch happen on stage.
yeah,
So to watch them, it kind of encouraged me to keep going. So
yeah.
yeah,
How was it? What was a moment for you, like going into acting? How did you know, you wanted to do that? When did you step into it? Were you younger,
yes,
before
most
college years,
definitely.
or yeah? Talk
Yeah,
about
I
acting a little bit.
acting. Yeah, I started acting as a kid. So for me, it really was a way to express myself. I was the only child for like forever before my mom started having other kids,
Yeah,
and it was just a way to create other characters to use my voice. Skin deep in the
yeah,
building, I see you. And it was a moment to kind of take a break from whatever I was going through my youth, through adolescence, because times were hard for every child.
right.
So I got to press pause on my life and channel somebody else's energy,
Mm,
create their story. So that's what drew me in with acting.
yeah, and that's kind of how the story tell her thing came about, right? Because I
Exactly.
love your icons. That's
Thank
so unique.
you.
Yeah, that's dope. So how would you say, like, with acting and music, how was acting like influenced like your music, and being on stage and having that energy that you have?
Huge part. I don't think I would be as successful as I am as a rapper without the acting. Most
Yeah.
definitely. It just allows me, because and we'll get to that, I'm sure, with like your rapping questions, but I was
Hmm.
nervous to rap. Like when I tell people that, they're like, what the hell, y'all don't mind me cursing, is wrong with you?
No,
Like,
it's
how in
okay.
the world are you not, have you not been doing this your entire life? Like, I was
Mm,
scared to rap. I didn't want to do it. I was nervous to channel that energy. Is power to be a female rapper out
yeah, it
here.
is.
And so finally my acting helped, because I was able to view rapping as different characters. You know what I'm
Mm,
saying? Yeah, and it's so dope, because it's like,
yes.
that's why every song is so different. Every performance is so different, because whatever character we rocking with for the song or for the performance, that's what we're gonna get. We're gonna tell that story, as opposed to, oh, I'm just a rapper and I'm gonna be the same every time you see me. No, no, no. Every time you see Lay, you're gonna get something different, because I'm an
Period.
actress first.
I
So
like it. Yes. So like, so when did you like start taking it seriously? You know, like
2 years
after you were
ago.
scared, but like when were you like, okay, like talking to yourself, when I'm gonna do it, and that's just what it
I
is.
will tell you what happened was, for me, rapping, it was something I never did. So let's shout out, She Will for Will, Jay Manning, Cam, Potter House, all of them that Justin, Mood, all those are Winter alum.
Yeah.
They
Mm-hmm.
have found out on the low my freshman year at Winter that I could spit. But it wasn't something that I really said publicly because I didn't view myself as a spitter. It was just kind of like, when you be with
Yeah.
your friends and everybody start freestyling and people just
Yeah.
pass the beat around. You know what I'm saying? But one time I
Mm-hmm.
was with a group of friends and we were passing the beat. And when it was my turn, I was actually saying stuff that made sense. And they was like, hold up, pause. Because we were
Somebody
playing, but
just
you
did
ain't
something there.
you ain't playing. You like did something. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
from there, like Will kept saying, Lay, you need to come. He had the radio show at the time with Chelsea. And he
Uh
kept saying, you need to come spit. And I'm like, I'm not coming. I don't do this. That's y'all.
huh.
And a year went by and eventually they convinced me to do that first cipher. And when I
Yeah.
did that, it just kind of took off. Twitter went wild, and each year I did that. But even then, all through Winter, I was never a rapper. I did that one cipher a year and that was it. And, long story short, the reason why I stepped into rap, I was afraid of it because with acting, you don't want to be typecast. So
Okay.
that's why I never committed to rap because my rap energy is so hardcore. I thought that, they're only going to see me as this hardcore rapper and it's going to mess
Mm-hmm.
me up in the acting world because I can't play, a soft, vulnerable character if I've already been, I've already created this image that I'm so tough. So the click for me to really dive into rap, I finally understood when Star and Empire came out.
I want elaborate on that.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep, that's what made me realize, girl, you crazy. For me, it was just watching them, like Lee
Yeah.
Daniels really created the opportunity for musicians to also act with like major roles. You know what I'm saying? It was this
Mm.
huge platform, and you saw these rappers that also were so dedicated to their characters that people were falling in love with,
Yeah.
Hakeem or Breezy, you know what I'm saying? Like people were loving
Mm.
them, and it's like, oh my goodness, like I can do this, Star.
Yeah.
Like I fell in love with so many of those characters.
Love Star, girl.
Yeah, so
Love.
it was
I
just
love
like,
Star.
I would be crazy to not use that gift because I think it's gonna hurt me because it's helping them.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Love it. So you being okay, because I know you mentioned you were scared, you were terrified. Like, kind of talk about being on the other side of fear and kind of breaking out. Like, what did that feel like? Because I know
It's
it.
liberating,
Yeah.
liberating. I'm grateful that it took this long because it kept me humble.
Mm.
So my ego will never outgrow my soul. You know what I'm saying? Because I
Yeah.
know that I wasn't always like this. But to
Mm.
know that I finally reached the point where I can be confident and say what I gotta say is
I
liberating. And
love
it's like,
it. Yeah.
why weren't you saying this all before?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's a journey. Sometimes you gotta feel scared. That's the only way you're gonna do it. Because I know I've been there before, where I'm just,
Yeah.
even with this series I'm doing, I was terrified. And Orlandis is in here; she can tell you I was terrified. Like, but I was like, you know what? Let me just. I set a scheduled post on this app I
Uh-huh.
had. I posted my little
Nice.
promo video, girl, and I let it
Right.
go.
And
I
as soon as
turned
I
my phone
saw
off.
that, I was like, hold up, like, because sometimes you were laying low at first, but then like when you drop that promo and those pictures to go with it, the rollout was like, even if you
Girl,
didn't see the first couple posts, you saw the rollout and
thank you,
it
girl.
grabbed attention. Like, what?
Thank you. Girl, I was terrified. I threw my phone after that. I had to turn it off because I didn't want to see. I didn't want to see anything. I didn't. I didn't want to see nothing. But so let's talk about your move to LA, because that had to be a serious move to just think, okay, I'm going to move to LA. I'm going to go out here and just take a leap of faith and see where it takes me. So kind of talk about that, because that's huge.
Girl, that story, I can't wait to just write a
Give us the
book,
tea.
probably. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna give y'all the condensed tea because I can ramble
Okay.
about that story for a good minute. Thank you guys so much for saying y'all are happy I did it. It was
Yes.
crazy. All right. So the short story is, I was a full-time teacher, preschool
Mm,
teacher, and I was enjoying it. I love my babies, love them, love them. But in at the time that I was teaching, I was getting acting job after acting job after acting job, and I couldn't commit to none of it
yeah.
because, I couldn't leave my classroom. So I was passing up huge opportunities. Like if I start naming them now, you'll be like, you crazy to not leave. Why in the world would you stay? Like this is, even my friends were like, this is your dream. Like she called you and you didn't go.
Mm,
And it was because in that season of my life, I was so dedicated. Teaching was so far outside of me that
mm,
I knew that God placed it there.
yeah.
So I was so dedicated to just finding out what he had for me to do. What was his purpose? Why am I here with these kids? And I felt like I trusted God so much in that season to where I know that this is necessary, not just for me, but for them. And at this
Yeah.
point, I need to do service. So
Mm,
it hurt to pass up them
yeah.
kids. I'm still looking back like, hold up now. But I knew greater was coming. So I told myself, because I got tired of it eventually, that,
Yeah.
I was going to finish up my last year teaching. And I was leaving teaching in August. And I was supposed to take a birthday trip, girl, to LA for October. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? 2 years
Yeah.
ago now. And I had met up with a friend. She was like more so an acquaintance at the time. And we had talked about, oh yeah, she was like, come to LA, girl. I'm gonna show you around my city. I'm gonna, take you around the town. It's gonna be lit. You can stay with me. You don't gotta worry about no hotel. And I know you're looking to move. So come on over. You know what I'm saying? I'll take you around. We can look at apartments and everything. And it's
Mm,
gonna be lit. Like, I got you. I got you. And I'm like, okay, cool. Cause I don't know nothing about LA. But I'd only visited once for a couple days, but I did
yeah.
not know the city at all. So I'm hyped. I'm like, yes. And
Hmm.
a week before the trip, something came up. And I got a call from her that was like, girl, I'm so sorry, but you can't stay again. Some things came up. I had already bought my flight months prior,
Wow.
didn't do no additional planning. I had just quit my job. So all I had was what was really for this trip and a little piece of savings. And so, I got to this point where I'm like, what am I going to do? Do I cancel my flight and just stay here? Or, do I go out there and just try to figure it out? To
Yeah.
cancel the flight, you can reschedule the flight all you want to, girl, but it was $300 minimum at the
Oh,
time.
oh, child.
And I don't know if you visited LA, but them hotels ain't nothing to play with.
At all. I've been there. Yeah.
So, I was in a hard place, and I had to
Hmm.
make a choice. I was going to lose money either way, but it was like, what do you want to get out of it? So I debated, I cried, I prayed, I was mad. But, the night before my flight, I decided I'm going to go because
Hmm.
regardless, I'm going to get something out of it. So at
Yeah.
least if I go and if I like it, I'll know for next time when I go back what I look to get out of the trip. You know what I'm saying? I'll get more out of the experience. So I went, you know what I'm saying? Got there. The first rented an Airbnb, by the way, y'all, because I ain't no bougie. You know what I'm saying? I'm cheap
Yeah.
too. I don't
Yeah.
got it like that. So I was looking for the easy way out. So I rented a little Airbnb and then, got to the city. And around Charleston, all my friends can tell you I'm lost. Even in Rock Hill and Charlotte at Winthrop, I was lost. I got to use my
Girl,
GPS
me too.
everywhere.
Everywhere.
Um, okay. But when I got there, something clicked. Something clicked. I was on go mode. Didn't know where I was going, but I knew how to get there. That
Mm,
already was something in me that just, I knew I ain't put it there.
yeah.
And, once I got there, I was there for 2 days. In those 2 days, I called the airline and said, I'm going to cancel my flight back home. I'm going to stay.
Wow.
I'm going to stay. I ain't had no job. I ain't had no man. I ain't had no kids. I'm going to stay. And
Hmm.
even if everything go wrong right now, to be honest, it's better to stay right now than to try to stay 5 years later when I got other commitments. So I
Right.
don't got nothing else going on right now. This the
Right.
perfect time to have a test trial. And if I fail, I fail, but I tried.
Right. Love it.
So girl, and the rest of the journey is even more, thank you, Miss April. I hope this is encouraging you to just go, y'all. Just go.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And here's the
Wow.
moment that always gets people. And I thank that friend. I don't know if she in here. We friends now. But I thank her to this day because immediately, about a month after, I realized what the purpose was. When I got to LA, I knew I didn't have time to play around because I had to find a reason to be there.
Right.
If I had came to visit my friend, girl, we would have turned up. We would have went to the club. We would have had drinks, party all week long. And I would have took my happy tail back to South Carolina, back to whatever else I had going on. But because God pulled that comfort away from me, the moment I got there, I had to dig deep to find purpose in being there. When I got there, it was not fun and games. The moment I landed in LA, I put my stuff in my Airbnb and I got on the train to start looking at apartments because I had something to do.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all God, because he moved that around. I wouldn't have done it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have done it.
And I kind of want to get a little deeper and talk
Go
about
for it.
God, like just God in your journey. Like, what were those prayers like, or what were those nights like where you were kind of confused? Like, I just want to, kind of help people find their purpose. Some people really don't know, like, well, how do I speak, So on this good old Sunday, girl, give us a good word about God in your journey.
Alignment is real and blind faith is real, and that was a moment where I had to practice blind faith. Blind faith is not just quoting the scripture, walk by, it's not all that. It's not. It sounds cute, but that's not it. It's literally like going into a situation and you do not know the outcome, but subconsciously you are comforted in knowing that you will be okay.
Yeah.
He's got you. And even if something does feel like it's harming you, it is going to be used for a greater good. Girl, that first month was terrible. I ain't had no house, no job, no security, no nothing. I mean, we gonna get into it. I'll probably put it in the book. It was terrible. I mean, calling my mom, crying. Because I'm just like, I don't know what to do. But in the same breath, I couldn't even depend on my family in that moment. Because everybody's answer, family and the majority of my friends are like, just come home. It's that simple, girl. Like, you going through a lot right now. Just come home. Like, that's all you got to do is just come back. And I'm like, but y'all don't get it, though. It's not that simple. There's something here that I got to get, and I can't leave until it's done.
Girl, you...
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, man.
I love it. Okay, so just outside of, because I know you are very ambitious, very hungry, but like, what was it outside of course, God, leading you there and aligning you? What was it that kept you going in those?
It was that, and I'll give you a prime example. I'm really giving you like all the gems. Okay.
Give it to me, girl. I want
this. I'm going to try to make this story short.
Okay.
Because it's a story that just makes me light up, because in my first month, like, I saw the path. Like, I went through hell, but I saw heaven, just a little glimpse of it, And I remember I was out there because I got there at the end of October. So I was out there all in November, no job, but still able to survive. You know what I'm saying? So it was hitting a month, and it was still tough. And I told my mom, I was like, at this point, at a month, exactly a month, if I don't either have a job or a place, it's time to go. Because it's getting unsafe. You know what I'm saying? Like, people go the homeless route and all that stuff out there, which I get it. Sacrifice for your dream. Go for it. But I also got common sense. And I know when we crossing the line. You know what I'm saying? So when it starts to get a little unsafe for my safety, it's time to kick something else into high gear. So for me, like I said, either house or a job. I'm coming back. Shout out to T-Saw, which is Tasha Smith's acting workshop. We gonna get into that. But let me plug them in right quick and let me tell y'all this mother freaking story. I was down to my last coins, y'all. I got a bunch of actor fees and stuff like that, and they all come out. What is the word? They draft out your account automatically. Right? I can't think of the word. Like, like a credit card bill. Like, it just comes out automatically. You don't have you don't click to pay it. It just comes out.
I know what you're talking about, but I can't.
think of
We
the
get it.
word.
We got it.
Whatever. Y'all get it. Okay. So all my acting fees were supposed to be doing that. And I didn't think auto pay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Auto pay. And so I didn't think ahead. And I was down to my last coins. And I remember that as I was reaching my month, I had realized, I was like, I done been in LA and I've been on go mode for the last month. Like a whole month has went by. And I had went to church at Sarah Jake's church. And I had listened to a sermon that allowed me to have the epiphany to realize that the reason why I still wasn't comfortable in LA is because I was so on go mode looking for the next thing, which was my house with job. And I never took a solid moment to, one, thank God for where I was, because I was always asking him for something. And for two, to really live in the moment that I was in, you know? So I was like, if you got to leave LA today, because it could happen, because things just ain't working, what are you leaving with? What did you do while you was here? But look for an apartment and look for a job. Like, what did you do?
Right.
And I realized I didn't do nothing. Nothing. I just survived. I didn't live in LA. I survived in LA my first month. And I heard from God, you got to get an investment before you leave. So I was like, okay, cool. So I took, my hot little $200, last piece of $200, and paid for a month of class at Tasha Smith's acting workshop, which I had worked with her before. You know what I'm saying? She has a studio out there and everything like that. So I already knew her work and everything. It was an investment that I knew what I was making.
Yeah.
And so at the time, though, I still had no job and no place. And right around Thanksgiving, I cried on Thanksgiving because I couldn't afford food. I couldn't.
Yeah.
And what ended up happening was right after I paid the $200 for class, that auto pay came. And it took out acting fee. Now I'm in the negatives. Now it's Thanksgiving. I can't get home. I have no money. I have no food. But I paid for acting class. And I'm crying to God, like, why would you make me do this? You knew this was coming. I couldn't see it, but you could. And now I'm broke over an investment that was supposed to make things better. Where are we going with this?
Yeah.
And I thank him. He's probably not watching right now, but Lawrence Robertson saved a portion of my little whole life because I went to acting class. I was just like, we just gonna finish class and we're gonna go back home. Went to acting class, and he was my first acting partner. And so, when you have a partner, you have to do rehearsals and stuff like that, and then bring the scene to class and perform and all this jazz. And our first rehearsal, we're chopping it up. He's like, oh, you're new to LA. That's so cool. Like, you're dope. Like, I'm so glad I get to work with you. We're kicking it up. He's such good energy. And he was just like, so how are you making it out here? And I was transparent with him. I was like, I tried to be modest at first, but then I was honest. And I was like, well, honestly, I'm not. You know the struggle. You're an actor too. Like, you know how it is. We broke out here. He was just like, that's crazy. You got a job? I'm like, I've been looking, but no. He's like, damn, let me call my boss real quick. Okay. Girl, he called his boss. His boss said, if you recommended her, tell her bring her social security card and her ID tonight. I'll go ahead and clock her in.
Wow.
So if I had never been obedient, y'all hear that?
Y'all better listen.
Obedience, and took the last little piece that I thought I had to invest in class, I would have never met the vessel that would have provided the rest of the income for me to stay. Y'all better get this. Y'all better get this, because that's how God. I'm telling you, this journey is just crazy. So you just have to get blind faith and being obedient. I mean, and it was hard. It was hard, but it is what it is. Yeah.
Hard, but you got through it though. And I thank you for your transparency, because that's girl, that is such a testimony. I'm in awe. Look, girl, you touching everybody in here. I love it.
Give it to y'all. Listen, I love it too much. I gotta give it to other people, because somebody might be sitting on the fence right now and they gotta jump.
And those who are in here, if you have questions, please feel free to drop them in the Q&A at the bottom. But let's keep it pushing, girl.
All right.
I love it.
That's the most rambling I'm gonna do. Like, that's the most, most dramatic part of my journey. Everything else is kind of, like circles. But yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So you're in LA, right?
Yes.
I really want to get into this this BET experience because, girl, when I seen you on there, I was like, Lay. I was like, are you gonna rock that? So talk. So tell us about when you hit LA. Okay, you have a deadline. You get all the stuff done. Tell us about BET. How you got there? How did you hear about it? You know, what was it? I need
So
the
I
story.
heard about it and I wasn't gonna do it. Cause at the time I still wasn't rapping. I had a little drop, a little piece of song. Shout out to
Mm,
Snacks. I hadn't dropped. I don't think I had. I may have dropped my EP, but yeah, I did drop my EP by then, which was
yeah.
preschool. But I still wasn't committed to rapping. Like, do you know my friends in my acting class? I was in that class with them for like 6 months before they even knew that I was a rapper.
Yeah.
Somebody found my Instagram one day and was like, "Hold up," it was just something I just wasn't committing to. And
Yeah.
I saw the posts, a bunch of people had tagged me in the rap competition. And I was just like, well, that's stupid of me to be here and not go. So let me see what it is. So I
Yeah.
threw together a little piece of an outfit I can't match worth a dime. And I just went out there because I'm like, all I can do is try. If I get sent home, I get sent home.
Yeah.
And when I got there, it just worked. I just don't know who I channeled or where it came from, but the first part of it was you were supposed to spit a rhyme. Okay, I had that ready. Then I
Mm-hmm.
made it to the next level. Then that was a freestyle. I don't even freestyle, but something came out. Then I made it to the next level, and it was just like,
Wow.
it was giving me so much confidence and confirmation that I
Mm.
desperately needed to continue. And even when I had made it to the top, the people pulled me aside, like Big Tigger and all them, they pulled me aside and they was like, sis, you ain't supposed to be in here. You don't meet none of the requirements that they look at. And they said this on the low, sorry to the other
Yeah.
people in the competition if they listening. Yikes.
Yeah.
But they was honest with me and they was like, you're not supposed to be in this room right now. You don't meet the requirements. At the time, the requirements were, you had to have style. I walked in there with sweatpants. Clearly, I didn't get no points in that category. You had to have a huge following. Girl, I want to say I had 1,200 followers at the time.
Wow.
I was competing against people with 70,000 plus followers. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? None
Yeah.
of that. And there was other things that you needed that they were grading us on. And they pulled me to the side and they said, we need you to know that you made it to the top 4 off of your bars alone, like your style alone,
Girl.
just in your rap. Because you honestly didn't have nothing else to really
To go off of.
make it into this competition. And it was
Yeah.
like you had us in a room fighting over you because some people thought, no, you don't need to make it because it's not fair. And everybody else was like, we would be crazy to not let this girl make it to the top.
Yeah. Wow. Girl, bars alone, that's confirmation right there. Mm.
Exactly. Especially to
That is
somebody who don't even think she be rapping. I was just like, me? Y'all sure? You know, I felt bad because I didn't even tell anybody about the competition. People
Yeah.
were texting me after it was almost over, like, oh, girl, let me come out. Why didn't you tell me? And I'm like, well, for one, I didn't think I was going to be here. I thought these people was going to send me home 8 hours ago. That's why I didn't tell nobody,
Right.
so it was eye-opening.
Yeah, and you mentioned your song Snacks off of your preschool EP.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember when it went viral because I know you reached out to me to do a TikTok. But girl, listen, I was gonna do it, but TikTok was just not my lane. Like I could never. I literally just figured out how to do reels like yesterday.
It's
Okay,
okay.
TikTok was not my lane, but like just seeing a lot of people, do the challenge and your
Shout out
friends and
to
all that.
Tony.
Like, what was the feeling? Because I enjoyed watching them.
It was crazy. It was crazy. Shout out to Tony. Stony Marbles is in here. That was all him. And
Yeah,
he just had
killed
so
it.
much swagger to where ain't nobody had a choice but to try to match his energy because he came hard.
You did.
Them fits was fly. I wanted to do the snacks challenge. I didn't want to do my own damn challenge because he did it
Yes.
so well. I was like, well, I know I can't beat him. So I mean, what's the point? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But it felt good. It was so comforting to just see people, support it. And the best part about it was people that I didn't even know. I would like wake up and get a DM like snacks challenge, and I'm like, you don't even know me, and you did this. Like,
Yeah.
no, you know.
Yeah, that's
So,
amazing.
yeah.
So I know like throughout this whole journey of rapping, you have to have some inspiration behind it. So who would you say are your top like musical influencers?
Okay. In the current time, male, I have to always put J. Cole up there. You know what I'm
Love
saying?
J. Cole, girl. Ooh,
You know.
love boo.
And then females, I would have to say Cash Doll. She makes me so giddy. Oh, I just love her energy. Um, Definitely Rhapsody because I'm just a
Mm,
lover of conscious rap. And then, you know, of course, you know, the greats in the game, you know, you got it. I just always respect, well, I love Mickey and I always, you know, respect what
yeah.
everybody else is doing. Cardi, you know, Meg, her style is just amazing to me.
Mm,
And I'm here for it. I'm here for all the City Girls, even. Jeez,
yeah.
Flo Milli. I'm going to name them all. So you got to cut
Go
me off.
ahead. Give me a list, girl.
Um,
That's what I asked for.
but they're all so good. And then I just have to shout out the people that crafted me. And for me, it's hip hop. It ain't
Yeah.
quite rap. Like I can rap, but I grew up on hip hop. So, you know, for me, it's MC Light. It's
Mm,
Queen Latifah. You know,
yeah.
it's Tupac. It's Biggie, Nas, like Jay-Z. Those are my pocket. People don't talk about it anymore, but that's, you know, where I
Yeah.
got my inspiration from.
So where do you, so like with you and your rap, I mean, of course everyone's different. Like, what do you think makes you so different from like other female rappers or just people like around your age or just in, you know, rapping in general? Like, what makes your flow different?
Gotcha. I would say it's the diversity. You
Mm,
know, definitely attacking it from an acting perspective. Like, I want a character. I don't just want a song. I
yeah.
want, I know by the time I create a song, I create the songs with the vision in mind. So I know where this video is going. I know the audience that's going to vibe to it. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I don't, probably any project I ever put out is not going to all sound the same. Every song is coming with different energy. So
Yeah.
that's what sets me apart. I'm not looking for something that's going to sell or be mainstream. I'm looking for something that's going to tell a story. If it's a wild story, let's get it. If it's a sexy story, let's get it, you know?
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it. And so like I know you're like really you're very humble about just everything. Like well honestly, so those who are in here, like I said earlier, me and Lay went through together and you've been the same person ever since. Like what keeps you humble? Because I think like with you've been on, you know, BT and stuff like that. You can it's easy to get have a big ego and get a big head and you know want to act brand new. Like so what keeps you humble and grounded?
I think for me, it's because I just got to a point where I could express it. You know, another transparent moment. I always was loud and outgoing and just extra
Yeah.
my entire life. And, you know, everybody has a bullying story, of course. So in high school and in middle school, I was bullied for it. Even in college sometimes. Like when I first
Yeah.
got to Winthrop, people would be like, "Oh, she do too much. Like she just a
Yeah.
lot, you know. She's extra. She just always, you know." And it was a negative connotation behind it, which
Mm,
made me in college start to close myself in. And by the time I got to my senior year, I wasn't as open. I was more low key. I was a little bit insecure because I was told for so long that I was doing too much
yeah.
until I graduated. And you know, with social media and Vine and Instagram and all this stuff, I'm seeing Lala Scissorhands or Pretty V or Beat Simone get paid for being just as loud and extra as they want to be. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
looking like, now that's a little funny.
Yeah.
I was told for years that this is wrong. And the same
Mm,
thing that was wrong is now entertaining to people and they're getting paid for it.
yeah.
Oh no, that's crazy. So then it started to click for me that I can be myself. And it's still a journey. And that is what keeps me humble, is because I know that I wasn't always like this. I had to go through
Yeah.
layers of this to understand how to give what I got, but not give too much.
Mm, love
Yeah.
that. Love that. So, talk about just like what you learned through this journey, right? You started in Charleston, South Carolina. You know, you wanted to do acting. you were scared of rap, you moved to LA, you take this leap of faith, it's landed you in huge opportunities. So just talk about like what you learned like this whole entire journey.
Ooh, I would have to say I learned to love the journey for
Mm-hmm.
one,
Yes.
regardless of what it's like. And for two, to give back. That is huge to me. I had to
Mm-hmm.
give back because
Yeah.
I didn't always have. And giving back to me doesn't always mean financially. Because
Yeah.
sometimes I'm broke too. So don't ask me for money because I ain't got it. But
So stupid.
but it's just always it can even be in support. It can be in inspiration. It can be in vulnerability. Because
Mm.
I wasn't always vulnerable. I didn't understand how important that was. I was
Yeah.
closed in, like, box, you're not finna get no emotions from me. What? Show you
Yeah.
my weakness? Girl, please. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But I'm now learning weakness is power because your
Absolutely.
weakness can inspire somebody else to break through theirs, you know? So
Yeah.
giving back, sharing my
Girl,
story.
love it.
Yes.
So I think with success comes a lot of sacrifice. So just talk about some things that you've had to sacrifice in that face. Some things you had to sacrifice during your journey.
Gosh, so much. Oh, there was a quote that I wrote in my book when I moved to LA. God darn it. It's gonna take me too long to think about it. But oh, perfect. I I wrote down in my journal once I realized how crazy it was to be living out there alone and broke.
Mm.
I wrote down in a moment of frustration, I traded in stability for struggle.
Mm.
I gotta say it again because I need other people to understand what I just said. I traded in stability for struggle. And that's how it felt. I
Yeah.
left a 9 to 5 job with consistent income, you know what I'm saying? Stability, my family, my car, because I don't have a car in LA,
Yeah.
spacious apartments, because the same amount that I'm paying in LA is a house out here. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? So that is, I see new people joining, so I'm going to say it one more time.
One more
It felt
time.
like I traded in stability for struggle. That's what it
Mm.
felt like. But I wasn't reading between the lines. I wasn't. That was the sacrifice. It may have felt that way on a physical aspect, but I'm gaining so much more, on the inside.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, girl, that is a word.
Oh.
Stability for struggle. Wow.
Yeah, that's
That's a
how that.
word.
Oh.
Oh, girl. You really
So that
dropping
was
gems. I hope y'all catching these gems, honey. And like I said, those are tuning in. Put your questions in the Q&A at the bottom, and thanks y'all for joining. What was my question? I had one. So with acting and with music too, how do you deal with like the rejection? You know?
Ooh, that's a good one. I think it's something that you never really like heal from. You know what I'm saying? Every creator. Somebody just said I'm an actor, rapper, and pastor. Y'all play too much. Thank you, Tamani. I love you. Um, I think it's something that you never really heal from, but you learn
Mm.
to bounce back. And what I learned, because I see some of my T-Soft family in the building. You know what I'm saying? And one thing they teach us in there is you leave everything in that room. Especially with acting. You leave
Yeah.
everything in that. You don't take nothing home with you. Because in that moment, especially with the work, hey Eric, especially with the work that you put in to prepare for that opportunity, at TSA, they train us to give all we got for that role. By
Yeah.
the time we go in that room, we ready. And if you don't like what we got this time, you gonna call us back regardless for something else, and it just ain't my moment. And that's
Mm.
perfectly okay. So after I walk out this room, I'm gonna do some self-care. I'm either about to have a nice drink, I'm about to go get a nail or a toe done, maybe get a little hairstyle, something, spa, something to just let me know I'm still that
Okay.
bitch. Yeah. Okay.
Period. Okay.
Yeah.
Period. So what is it like, what is it like staying afloat in a male dominated industry? Is there any intimidation that you may have? I feel like now it's a lot of female rappers are really it. Like I think the males now are intimidated, but like starting off,
Yes.
was there intimidation being in the male dominated industry?
The crazy thing is, and I'm not being cocky at all, but I don't feel it. I don't feel it. That's one thing I can really stand on. Like, you know, because a lot of times when I go to these performances, I am, if not the only, one of two female rappers in the room. And I will scan that room like, okay.
Talk about that. Talk about, like, you know, knowing your confidence, right? You're not worried about nobody else but yourself. And I think that kind of can apply to like life and different professions. So kind of talk about just knowing your confidence, even when you, whether it's a rehearse, not a rehearsal, but like an audition, whether it's, you know, going in for an interview for a job, like talk about your confidence and just knowing, I got it. I'm not worried about nobody else but myself.
Yep. I would say that confidence comes from, and this comes from one of my teachers, but you know, it comes from staying ready so you don't have to get ready. It's just that simple. You know, if you know that you're doing everything you need to for prep, you're not going to be worried. You're still going to get jitters, of course, because you're performing. It's nerve-wracking sometimes, but you're never going to really doubt the moment. You're going to carry the moment because you're prepared for it.
Right. Listen, girl, I don't like to go into nothing I'm not prepared for. Gotta stay ready now. There's a question I seen in the comments, and then we have one at the bottom. Someone said, we're gonna go back just a little bit. Were you alone when you moved? If so, how did you adjust? Currently struggling with being alone.
Yes, that is a good one, and I didn't touch on that because I know it can really, you know, be elongated. That was the hardest part of LA. Yeah. I left completely by myself. Not one family member, not one friend. I was alone. And it made me stronger. I'm proud of it now. And literally everybody I tell my story to is like, I could never, like, I had not met one person that has looked at me and was like, girl, I could do that. That's no problem. Like, it sounds crazy. Who would do that?
Yeah.
You know, it just wasn't, it wasn't something that I would have even thought that I was capable of doing. So yes, it made it very, very difficult. And when you're completely alone, it's hard to trust people. Like, I even had people that tried to, you know, be a friend to me out there, but I was so guarded because it was such a new experience for me that I wasn't even accepting or inviting new friendships because I just know at the end of the day, I'm out here alone. So I gotta be ready. I can't let nobody get too close. I can't trust nobody. You know what I'm saying? I got to stay guarded at all times. And I'm a female on the West Coast. Oh, no. We're not going to play these games. You know what I'm saying? I got to be locked and loaded.
Right.
And I come from the South, so we get down, you know?
Okay.
But it's something now that I'm proud of because I know that being alone allowed me to get everything done. Yeah. Because when you got somebody with you, you get comfortable. You get comfortable.
Yeah, that's a word. All right, I hope whoever asked that, y'all taking that down. And we have one question here from Tamani. Are you currently juggling acting and rap? If not, do you think you'll indulge yourself completely into acting again? That's a good question.
Ooh, okay. It's actually the opposite. So currently I am still juggling both. Like, I'm still, you know, I'm still working with T-Saw. And the reason why it looks like I'm so much more in my music bag lately is because, of course, with LA, everything is shut down still. So that's another like major part of why I came home. So as far as that, I don't think I will ever completely choose one or the other anymore. The reason why is because acting is always my first love. I'm never giving up the acting. Like, it's just not happening. It's just something that, you know, I've been attached to for so long that I'm here for. Like, I say all the time, like, I don't want to be a rapper. I'm not a rapper. Yeah. I don't even like calling myself a rapper. If you call me an MC, I'm cool with that, you know, because the greats were MC. But like, you know, with rap, I'll accept it because it's common. But to myself, I'm like, I'm not a rapper, you know. But I like to go so for the title entertainer. I feel like my purpose here is to entertain, and music is another way for me to channel a character and to entertain. So I'm gonna do both. It's a character. It's like I am acting.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
like, okay, so say this. Say you land a role, kind of like Star, right? You land a
Everybody's
role.
always asking. Uh-huh.
You land a role like Star, where you have, of course, to act, and then
Yeah.
you're able to show off your ability in the music industry.
Right.
Like, what would that role look like to you? Other than that, like, who would you want to play, or who would you want to, work with? I guess as far as acting or music, because sometimes rappers and singers, they are in the shows too. So
Okay, I can't. You must be making me feel really good because I said I would never say this out loud. Because those sometimes the old folk be like, you can't put your dreams in the atmosphere because some people might, whatever. But I'm
mm,
just feeling really giddy about it, and I'm gonna
okay,
just say it. I'm gonna
okay,
speak it into existence in this very moment.
let's do it.
In the next decade, my dream. So y'all 17 people finna get this now. Don't tell nobody. You feel me? Don't tell nobody. But
Speak it,
my
girl.
like dream is to play in a biopic the fabulous MC Light. That's when
Oh,
I that's when
girl,
I know that God is listening.
you,
He hears me. We lit. It's on. It's popping. If that falls in my lap,
mm,
we
girl,
good.
you would
We good.
kill that role.
We good.
We just gonna
I will
speak it.
get the
We gonna,
haircut.
yeah. Period. Do what you gotta do. Okay.
Jeez.
Wow. I can see
Yes.
it. I can see it.
I've
We're gonna
never
speak
told
that. We're gonna
anybody
keep
that
it.
publicly.
Speak positivity over that girl. I'm rooting for you. I really am. So let's
Yeah.
kind of get into because I don't want to run out of time. Let's
Right.
get
This
into
is
your
so good.
huh?
I said, this is so good. You're doing
I know.
amazing. Thank you.
Thank you, girl.
Yeah.
But let's get into your new EP, Upper Class. It's out now.
Woo.
Let's talk about it. Give us some those. So for those who are just hearing about it, kind of describe what Upper Class is.
Jeez. I'm going to give y'all the truth. Upper Class, I didn't even want to drop it yet.
Mm.
I didn't want to drop it. I felt like Upper Class was my level up. And I had convinced myself I didn't level up yet. And my friends had heard it. My family had heard it. And they're like, but these songs are fire. They're not just a level up. They're like a documentation of where you are right now. So you're
Yeah.
crazy to hold on to it because it's where you are right now. Like it's a part of the journey. So people are growing with you. So that's what Upper Class is. It is literally now coming into that rapper and owning it. Because
Yeah.
preschool, I was playing. That's why it's called preschool, But
Yeah.
Upper Class is like, no, like I'm ready to sit at the table with the big kids and get a plate. So let's go.
Mm. Love.
Yeah.
Yes, girl. Any artists you like to work with ever in the future? It can be acting or just music artists.
Oh my God, there's such a long line for both of them.
Top three on both sides.
Okay, top three on both sides. Woo! Oh my goodness, oh my goodness. God, the pressure. Okay, I've worked with her before, but I'd love to work with Angela Bassett.
Oh yes,
She's
love
like my
Angela.
number one. Yes. Number two would be Denzel, just because I just hear that he just teaches so much, and I'm such a learner. And then acting, I've worked with her as well, but can I choose a director instead?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Directing wise, I've already worked with her as well, but she is my all-time favorite director, Gina Prince Bythewood. I would love to just get that one-on-one from her. Like that would just have me over the roof.
Yeah.
Yep. And she directed Love and Basketball. In case everybody in here doesn't know, so Love and Basketball, Beyond the Lights, Secret Life of Bees.
Oh,
like,
girl.
Yeah,
now,
girl, that's her.
Love and Basketball is a classic, but Beyond the Lights is my girl. I used to love that movie. I was listening to the soundtrack. Okay, love that movie.
Beautiful.
Okay, let's see. If y'all have questions in here, please drop them. Don't be shy. I had one more question.
Yes. While you look for that, I'll answer the other one. Music wise, I would say definitely Beyonce. Beyonce's on everybody's list.
Right.
And then after Beyonce, it would have to be Ari Lennox.
Ooh.
Yes. Cash Doll and Summer Walker.
Oh, I love me some Summer. I love Summer and Ari. Do you have any advice for like anyone who wants to get into the music industry? Maybe start off as a rapper or a singer. Any advice for them?
The best advice that I give to people, because I get a lot of DMs now asking,
Yeah.
which I feel honored because I'm like, y'all asking me? Like, I
Yeah.
don't know what I'm doing. But it's just to start. It's just a
Hmm.
start. That's all I did differently was just start. Like I could always do it, but I never committed. It doesn't matter what you sound like. It doesn't matter your followers, because I just told y'all the BET story. I did not have the followers for all you new people in here to make it into that BET competition. They told me that personally. It don't
Yeah.
matter about the numbers when you first started. It's about really growing as an artist to know that what you're putting out is secure. Like you have to love your art and appreciate your art. Because if you're not 100% going in for what you're putting out there, nobody else is. It's really that simple. And
Literally.
another thing is, if you don't ever put it out, you don't give people the opportunity to even accept it or
Right.
appreciate it. For it.
Hmm.
Yep. And that
Yeah.
comes with anything creative, not even just
Yeah.
music. Anything.
Yeah. Literally, we are our biggest like fan. If we aren't pushing our stuff and putting it out there, our content, like no one's who's gonna know,
Okay.
right? If I kept this idea to myself, no one would really like.
Be
Dang, Karina,
watching.
she's really doing her thing. Leia's really doing her thing. They wouldn't know unless we
Yes.
put it out there. Like that's and it's
Yes.
so crazy because I think a lot of these things, like when I ask these questions, a lot of people give like cliche answers or just
Mhm.
answers that we hear growing up, like just do it, just start, don't give up. But it's literally that simple. You
Yes.
just have to do it, and consistency is
Yes.
key. Like you just you just have
Exactly.
to.
And then
Yeah,
like
like
you, it's easy to get discouraged because you see people that already have the fan base or the numbers. But
yeah.
what you don't see is how long ago they just started.
Mm,
That's it. One day they woke up and said, I'm just going to do this. And it started just as small as where you are right now. But they
right,
kept going.
right. That's the difference. They
Yeah.
kept going.
Yeah.
Do you have any new projects on the horizon outside of, I know Upper Class has dropped, but anything else you're working on or just collabing with anybody? If
Yeah.
you want to give us the tea, give us the tea.
I'm always get a tea. We from the South, so we like tea.
Sweet
Yeah.
tea, honey.
Sweet tea
Love it.
with the lemon. Um, I have a feature coming up with the beautiful Naija Chanel. Not sure if she's in here, but she's an amazing singer out of New York. And it
Okay.
is hot. Hot, hot.
Okay.
And then as far as myself, ooh, I just hopped out the studio last week. I got two fire singles and I'm ready to drop them, but I'm like, I feel like I should let Upper Class sit there a little more.
Yeah.
But
Hmm.
one single I'm gonna just drop as a single because it's like so it's for the ladies and it's so good. It's called Conceited. And it's
Oh,
like,
yeah.
yeah, like it's just oh, it's gonna reach Remy and she gonna be like, okay. Like
Okay.
she gonna hear it. She gonna hear it. And then
Yes.
the second one is so good to the point where, and I don't normally believe in a song like that, but it's so good to the point where I don't even want to release it without the visual first because you got to see what I'm describing in the song. Like,
Oh, I'm so
yeah, it's good.
excited. Do we have a deadline in the next what?
Ooh, I'm
End of
trying
the
to
year?
decide if it's something I want to do down here or if I want to wait till I get back out west. That's the holdup.
Okay. Okay, that makes sense. All right, we
Mm-hmm.
got a question in here. Let's see.
Questions? What's your
What's your inspiration? Kind of covered it earlier, but it's okay. Go ahead,
yeah.
girl.
As far as my inspiration, I would just say to give a different answer from before, another
Okay.
inspiration of mine is just really watching other people's success stories. I sit and listen
Mm,
to success stories a lot. And, I just get that glimmer of hope, like they made it to the other side. So now it's my turn to make it to the other side so I can tell my story so somebody else can make it to the other side. I want to cause a chain reaction. That's really what this
yeah.
is about for me. Like, yes, I want to make it to the top, but it means more to me to cause somebody else that spark where they need to go,
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah, that's what it is.
Love that. Well, Lay, listen, that's all I have for you, girl. And you have given us so much, so many gems. Like I told you I was so excited for this, and I am just really blown away from your story and your testimony. And this is why I do it because I like to share it. Like it's amazing.
Yeah.
So I thank you for being a guest on episode 5 of Kicking It with Karina. And thanks y'all for tuning in. Please go check out Lay's EP project Upper Class. It's on all platforms, right?
Yes, it's everywhere.
Okay. Everywhere. Please go run them streams up, honey. And Lay, I
Yeah.
love you. Thank you so much for doing this. I'm going to bed, girl, with a smile on my face because this is great. Like I really enjoyed
Thank you. And I just
it.
have to equally thank you. You are literally, like I've been saying all day, the first person to reach out for this interview. So like it just means so much to know that like you were wanting to hear my story. You know what I'm saying? So I
Mm,
will forever be grateful for you to have a Woo alum, first of all, that's a woman and a woman of color and a woman that's on her ish to take
yeah.
time to want to interview me. Like I will hold this forever. Like my
Uh,
firsts are always a huge deal. So to have my first interview right now, like, girl, you made my
love
night. I'm
it.
going to bed like, okay.
Well, thank you. Thank y'all for tuning in. Lay, you have a good night. And y'all make sure
Yes.
y'all share this video. Inspire someone else. I'm sure anybody can get a gem out of this. Something.
Yes.
All right, Lay. So you have a good night, girl.
Thanks, girl. You too.
Thank,
Beautiful.
thank you. Everyone have a good night.